What triggered the drug addiction?
I don't know what triggered it. I was at a time where I was making a lot of money and I didn't owe nobody nothing. And I was with friends who liked to get high, and I started getting high with them, and I end up liking it, and I end up sticking with it, because I don't believe in being a quitter. So I end up sticking with it for 23 years. I did crack for 23 years, but I started it. I liked it. It was fun. I hear people all the time, oh man, my life was so bad. I did drugs. I'm not that person. I was having fun. I was in motel rooms with girls I wouldn't generally talk to on the street, get them rocks and go and hang out and party. But, as you go along, you realize you're losing things. You're losing family, you're losing self, you're losing opportunities. And shoot, I wish I had realized it 2 years in, 3 years in, 10 years in, 23 years later, I finally turned the shit around. And so now I'm dancing fast I can to catch up with my contemporaries.
Hello and welcome to another exclusive interview by Recovery Today Magazine at recoverytodaymagazine.com. My name is Brandon Holt. I am a video correspondent for Recovery Today. We are in for a treat today. My guest is a legendary comedian, actor, author, man of faith with 9 years of sobriety. He has an amazing story that has inspired millions of people. Come on with me, everybody. Help me welcome one of the funniest men ever to walk the face of the earth, Mr. Micahel Collier. Come on, Mr. Collier.
I love it when you tell the truth, shame the devil. Thank you.
There you go.
How y'all doing?
Doing good. Good to see you, Mr. Collier. So let's jump right on into it. First of all, how's it going in Southern California?
Oh man, like it is everywhere else, man. It's crazy. Ain't nobody got no jobs. Everything done froze up. We marching everywhere, and that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? In fact, we so mad right now with what's going on with trying to get racial equality that we done forgot all about the virus. People, they marching right next to each other, But all
Are you still wearing your mask?
Huh?
Are you still wearing your mask? I don't see it.
Brother,
mask in the background.
Everywhere, brother. I have a box full of masks, brother. I got so many masks, man. And you can't come in my house unless you have a mask on and I have a mask on. We had a guy came and did our carpet the other day. He walked up to the door without the mask. I just peeked out. Like, where's your mask at? He had to go back to the truck and get it. Oh, we take it very serious. If you cough and you're on the phone with me, I hang up on you. I take it.
So if I cough, Michael, don't hang up on the feed if I cough, since we're.
Well, no, I ain't not on this one. I don't think you can get me from there.
So let's jump into it. Let's talk about how did you get into comedy, and what was your very first comedy show like when you walked out on that stage, even leading up to it? What was that like?
Well, the first show for me was just excellent because I had been working my way up to it. I was an actor. I had just come back from the military. I went to the military. I was military police for 3.5 years. I had just come back home, and I wanted to try my hand at comedy. I was already doing good at acting, so I got me some Red Fox jokes. Got me an album, Red Fox album. I went down in my mama's basement where I was living anyway, and I stand in the mirror and play those jokes over and over and over until I could tell them just like they were my jokes, and then, so I was just waiting for an opportunity. There was a local club in my neighborhood called the Naughty Pine at 115th and Halsted in Chicago, South Side. And it's just a bar, just a club. They get drinking and weed and blow and all the things you would have in a late night club, And I was in there one night. They had a comedian up who was just terrible. And I said, I'm better than him. Let me go up. And the guy said, no, that guy's fantastic. He's worked everywhere. He worked in Milwaukee. I'm like, Milwaukee? Anyway, he was doing Richard Pryor's album verbatim. And people were getting up and walking out. And finally, the guy came over to me. He said, okay, if you go up, how much is it going to cost me? I said, look, just give me $15, if you love me. I didn't say if you like me. If you love me. If you don't love me, you don't have to give me nothing. And you still don't fail because people going to laugh at me failing. And they still going to have a good time. They're going to be here drinking, which is what you want them to do. He said, okay, go up. I went up and did 3 Red Fox jokes. And when I got through, I think one of them was a pork chop joke. The guy comes to the restaurant every day, sits at the same table, same menu, same waitress, and he ordered the same thing, pork chops. Every day, same table, same waitress, same menu, pork chops. Finally, the waitress got tired of this. She come in early one day, she took a black marker pen, and she scratched out the pork chops. So the man come in, sit down, open up the menu. Waitress come over, she said, you know, I just scratched what you'd really like. He said, all right, go wash your hands and bring me them pork chops. You know, so I did like 3 jokes and audience was going crazy. And afterwards, instead of $15, the owner gave me $30 and he took me to breakfast. It's the first time I ever heard of eggs looking at you. Give me 2 eggs looking at you. I guess that's sunny side up. We had a pork chop and a big old biscuit. And I was like, oh my God. All I had to do was tell a few jokes. I got $30 and breakfast. And so I would do that like 10 times a week. Every week I would make like 300 a week just telling jokes in little clubs and bars around the city. And that's how I first got started in Chicago.
So do comedians steal each other's jokes and kind of make it your own?
I don't know what other people do, but I do. Yeah. You know what is so funny? Milton Berle, who was a white comedian back when television first started, they called him Mr. Television. He was so bold that he would go to comedy shows, sit on the front row with a pen and a piece of paper. And if he liked one of your jokes, he'd write it while you was telling it. And then he'd go tell a joke. I mean, it's not politically correct. It's not the right thing to do, but people steal. Some people do it on purpose. Some people do it by accident. Now, what's by accident? Well, if you're listening to comedy all the time, you can mess around and hear somebody else's joke and go, wow, that is fantastic. I wish I'd have thought of that and forget all about it. And 8 months later, you could be laying in your bed and wake up and go, oh man, I got a great idea for a joke. Not realizing that you just remembered somebody's joke you saw 8 months ago. Then you take that joke as you know it and put it in your show. It becomes your routine. And then 10 months later, somebody walk up to you, man, why you doing my joke? So it's best to try to be as original as you can or steal jokes from people who are dead. That's what I'm saying. That's what I did. That's why I think Red Fox joke. Red is dead. He can't use them jokes no more. You know, so yeah.
So what's your desired outcome for comedy, for doing comedy? Like, what was your desired outcome getting into the business?
Well, you know, I'm an entertainer and an artist, so I'm not locked into one thing. I'm an actor as well as a comedian, but I'm also a host and a motivational speaker. So as long as I can use all these tools I have to be able to make a living and doing what I love, then I'm happy. I mean, ideally, I'd love to have a TV show soon, you know, talk with variety. I could do it either in the morning or it could be a late night show. And incidentally, for your viewers, I do a show every Wednesday on my Instagram page, 6 p.m. Los Angeles. That's Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. In fact, this week I have Tammy Mack, who's a fantastic radio DJ, and she has her own talk show called Fox Soul. So she's coming on, and Miss Juicy Baby, who used to be on Ricky Smiley's show. Right. So I have both. Russell Simmons is coming July 1st to do the show with me. Wendy Raquel Robinson is about to do the show. Tony Roberts. I mean, so I do a show. It's an hour show, and it's every Wednesday, 6 p.m. So I'm doing that so I can just build up my library, you know, and then later I can go shop for the ideal of somebody giving me my own show. Yeah.
Keep me in mind if you need a fill-in guest one day. I'd be glad to come on.
Oh, absolutely. You look good for the part. I don't see why not.
So let's kind of get into the more serious nature of your life. Let's talk about what triggered your addiction. You've been very open with it over the years. You've helped a lot of people. What I really admire about you is your transparency. You seem like the mask is off. It's not about hiding anything because you're trying to help as many people as you can. So what triggered the drug addiction?
I don't know what triggered it. I was at a time where I was making a lot of money and I didn't owe nobody nothing. And I was with friends who liked to get high, and I started getting high with them, and I end up liking it, you know, and I end up sticking with it. you know, because I don't believe in being a quitter. So I end up sticking with it for 23 years. I did crack for 23 years, you know, but I started it. I liked it. It was fun. You know, I hear people all the time, oh, man, my life was so bad. I did drugs. I'm not that person. I was having fun. I was in motel rooms with girls I wouldn't generally talk to on the street, you know, get them rocks and go and hang out and party. But, you know, as you go along, you realize you're losing things. You're losing family, you're losing self, you're losing opportunities. And shoot, I wish I had realized it 2 years in, 3 years in, 10 years in, 23 years later, I finally turned the shit around. And so now I'm dancing fast as I can to catch up with my contemporaries, you know? But I'm very grateful and thrilled with my life because everything I have is a blessing. Everything I have is a gift of sobriety. There are things that I wouldn't have if I wasn't sober, you know? So I love my sobriety. And if you want to stay sober has to be the most important thing in your life. It's got to be more important than your relationship, more important than your house, more important than anything if you want to keep it, you know? And I love my sobriety. I mean, I'm just thrilled by all the wonderful opportunities I now have, you know?
Did you ever have a moment in your life where you almost relapsed, maybe due to a
I relapsed a bunch of times. Well, I don't know if I relapsed, but you know how they have this joke, man, I can quit anytime I want to. Hell, I've done it 12 times. Well, you know, I know in the early part when I first started trying to stop, that I would stop for a while, then go back. And I remember the first time I went to Cocaine Anonymous meeting. It's really funny too because I remember I was about 3:30 in the morning. I was just wired for sound, and I just didn't want to take it. I didn't want to do it no more. I was laying there with my wife, and she was sitting there sniffling because she was crying about what I was doing. And I got in the phone booth, and I found in the phone book, and I looked up Cocaine Anonymous, and I called them. And I said, man, I really need to do something about my problem. And they said, well, you know, there's a meeting, Michael. The guy that says his name was Greg C. He said, my name is Greg C. And we have a meeting at the Roxbury Park, 9:15 on Saturday. I'll meet you there. I said, cool, I'm coming. I went to the meeting. I dug it. People, they laughed about their sobriety. They were happy that they were getting sober. It wasn't a bunch of sad sacks and woe is me. And it went really, really good. And I stayed in there for about 9 months. And then I fell off because, you know, one day I ran into one of them people, and you got to stay away from the people, places, and things. I ran into one of them people that had that drug I liked. And she was one of them people that I like to hang out when I'm getting high. And next thing I know, I'm back where you start. Because that's what happens once you fall off. You got to go back to zero. You know, like I got 23 years now. I get high one time, I'm back to day one. So I got high again, and before I know it, I was back getting high like I was getting high. I mean, hitting the pipe hard. You know what I'm saying? And up all night, wasting money, and there I was again. You know, 3:30 in the morning, sneaking in the house, trying not to wake up my wife, sweating like R. Kelly in a playground. And once again, I was like, I gotta stop this, man. And I picked up the phone and called it. This, I think, is a miracle. I picked up the phone, called Cocaine Anonymous. I'd be damned if it wasn't the same brother and the phone, Greg C. And he's like, hey, Mike, we missed you. Come on down. And I went back, and I haven't fell off since then. And I was, for the longest, I was going to Cocaine Anonymous meetings, but now I just go to AA meetings. I like my AA meetings, you know?
So Michael, did you ever feel the need to be successful when performing, and the drugs kind of helped you, give you that extra motivation? Like, were you using it?
There was never a relationship of success with drugs for me, or relationship of had anything to do with my work. Like, I would never, ever go to work high. I never did that. I was a functioning addict, you know? I would do my thing, get my money, then sneak off and get high. Usually nobody knew I was getting high except the people that was getting high with me. I wasn't getting high in the street. You wouldn't see me walking around, you know, looking for a rock and no shit like that. I was very, very private about it. And usually I was controlled about it. I'd take a certain amount of money I know I want to spend. Like, okay, I'm going to do $200 and I ain't doing no more. And when that was through, most of the time, I would be through for the night. Sometimes you go back 2-3 times for that, man, just $20 more. With that ATM machine, man, I was thinking, damn, I wish back then I had an ATM machine in my house. I would have put it right up against the sink in the kitchen. Then you go back 2 or 3 times, you know, but I was never one of those crawl around on the floor, you know, I'm going to give somebody some head for a rock type people. It never got like that for me. And, you know, everybody has their low, and you have to find your own personal low before you turn around and come back the other way. And I guess I found mine, but I don't remember where. I just know that I got to a point when I just had enough. I was just tired of the whole thing. Thinking about all the friends that I lost and opportunities, you know, because you go on your job and you don't think nobody know you high. When you get high, you don't think nobody know you get high but you. But everybody know. They can see your skin is all moist and pasty, your eyes roll around your head, you moving fast, you know. You know, people be getting high on crack. They be moving fast. They ain't going nowhere, but they walking fast as a bug, you know. So I just got tired of all of that, and now I'm super, 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 super grateful to God and to the program that I'm sober now, because I don't feel like there's anything that I can't conquer now. I'm a conqueror. I don't feel as if I can't conquer now, you know?
So as a man of faith, did you have a different relationship with God before you were using, while you were using? And
yeah, I didn't hang out with him that much back then, you know? But I certainly called on him when it was time to stop. When I realized that I had had enough, it was God that I talked to ask for the help. It wasn't Cocaine Anonymous. It was me and God. And I was like, God, please help me have a distaste for this. This drug that is not just a disease and addiction, but it's something I'm allergic to, you know, and it's just an allergy of mine. I want to be a stronger allergy so I can't come near it. You know, I pray to get sick if I come near it. And I would get to a point where I would get sick if I was in areas where they had cocaine. Like I used to go and crack down on Washington Boulevard near La Brea. They had all these cheesy little hotels with the $5 and $10 hookers that would stand outside on the corner waiting to flag you down so they can give you some rocks and a broken stem and you can go hang out with them, you know, until your money or rocks or both ran out, you know, being there with Shirley, you know. And I'm like, get away from me, Shirley. You gonna steal all my dope and then help me look for it, you know. So, but that was Washington Boulevard. And when I was asking God to not let me go near it anymore, I literally could not go near it. If I drove down Washington Boulevard, I would get that what they call cocaine gas. My stomach would start churning. I'd start farting. And it was like I started getting ill, you know. So God has always been there. God is never not there. There is no place where God is not. He's everywhere and always there, you know. But I also think that God is like a light source. It's like the light is there, but you have to cut it on. And you cut it on through your prayer. You know, you cut it on by asking for God to come and help you do what it is you want to do or to guide you, you know. But I don't think that God intrudes on you. I don't think that God forces himself on you. I think that you have what people call what we seem to have choice. Like, I chose to do this, I chose to do that. I mean, ultimately, God is the creator of everything, who created everything from nothingness and did it in the name of love. So he is also omnipresent and he has all the knowledge. So he knows everything that's going to happen before it happens. So no matter what I do, I can't trick him. He didn't see that coming. He sees everything going on. He already knows it. But you still have the idea that you're making your choices, and you have the energy of that so that you can choose whether you want to have a relationship with God. But me and God, we ain't just in love. We have a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And so I talk to him, I believe in him, I trust God without reservation, you know? So that's that thing they say, if you're going to pray, don't worry. If you're going to worry, don't pray. So I trust him totally, you know? So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yes, so I think that, like, I always like to use the analogy of the light, and you don't have to cut the bulb on but that don't mean the light don't work. You know, the light still works. The light is still there. See, the light is off. But when you need that light, you do that thing called prayer, and the light is on. And it's always there for you. God's like a buffet. You know what I'm saying? Well, the buffet is always there. If it ain't nothing there you want, don't worry about it. The buffet's still there. But if the things you need, you can reach out and get them all the time. That's how God always is, all the time, with everybody. Everyone just don't know it. The strength is in the knowing of it, you know? And when you know a thing, then you have a responsibility to do that thing, you know? So, yeah.
So how would you finish this sentence? Every setback is a setup?
Every setback is a setup. So it never was a setup in the first place. So sit back and look at what happened so you can really see what's going on with your life.
And for Michael Collier, every setback is a setup for a comeback. And you have a great comeback story that you've shared with us tonight. I want to ask you, what can you say, Michael, to somebody watching is struggling with addiction? They're at a really low place in their life, possibly suicidal, maybe using to function, homeless, incarcerated, somebody dealing with medical issues, just really trying to hold on. What can you say to them?
I ain't saying shit to them people. I don't know them. Oh, I'm joking. I would say try to look inside yourself and remember that that's where God resides, and just really have faith. You know, try to find somebody to talk to that you can believe in. You know, if you don't have a church, go find a church. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have your own church, go to the nearest church you can get to. Go to get someone who has guidance, spiritual guidance, who can just talk to you. Someone who don't want something in exchange. They just want to help you get yourself together and get clarity and just have faith. God has never left you, never for a moment. He's still there. Just calm down, get focused, get centered, drink a lot of water. You know, whatever you're going through, just drink a lot of water. Flush everything out of yourself. And as you flush it with water, be praying, meditating, and seeking someone who loves you, who will talk to you, who means you well. And even if it's not someone spiritual, it could be a family member or it could be a true friend. The one who's your friend, even when you ain't shit. Even when stuff is working out, they still your friend. Go to that person and say, man, I'm up against it, man. Put your ego on the side. Put your ego on check and say, look, man, I'm against it. Everything is going wrong, and I just need some kind of help. Not money. I just need you to talk to me, get me focused, get me clear, and maybe help me find a good spiritual leader, you know? Yeah.
Who's had Michael Collier's back since day one?
God, my mama, you know. There's been a lot of people in my life that's been very, very, very instrumental and caring and loving of me, you know. At the time when I was in my addiction, I was married to a woman named Brooks, and she was always there, you know. She was always there, and I give her credit for that. I'm with a fantastic woman named Kelly now, and she's very, very supportive, always there. She's always there to help me navigate these waters of life. I had a friend that was a pimp named Mr. Doobie, and Mr. Doobie just loved me, you know, and he was sincere about it, and he would make sure I was okay, you know. I remember one day I was trying to go out, I'm trying to flouse and shit. Everybody think I'm all that, you know. I got my little suit on and no money, and he said, "Do you have any money?" I don't even know how he knew this shit. Do you have any money? I got a couple of dollars. He said, "Here." He gave me $100. He might as well gave me $1 million. It was just the greatest thing that anybody could have done for me, because it was really more about him giving me confidence and making me feel better about myself. But he always was there. You know, I have so many friends, you know, who remain my friends after years and years. So, and my brothers, you know, even though when we don't get along, we still love each other. You know, I got 3 big brothers, and I had 4. One transcended many years ago, but my other brothers, I can usually talk to them. Even if I have to battle them, I can call and talk to them. If I was in any trouble, even if they didn't like me, they'd look out for me. So I've had many, many blessings along the way. I have a great spiritual friend named Astarius Miraculi, and he is the guy that I can call on no matter what the hell happens. You know, if they catch me in the hotel with the crack pipe in one hand, the dead hook on the bed, and the pistol in the other, I can call him. And I know he'll come and get me, and he ain't gonna do no judgment about it. He's gonna come and make sure I'm okay. He gonna get the right lawyer. We're gonna be all right as soon as the swelling go down. But the one to always call on that never leaves you is good old G.O.D., man. Good old God, man. He's there no matter what, and he loves you unconditionally. No matter what you went through, or no matter what you think you are, think you've been, God already knows your heart. He already knows who you are. You ain't got to convince him, you know. All you have to do is open up and invite him into your heart and your life and your soul, and everything just takes off, you know.
You mentioned your mother as one of your role models and cheerleaders. You're paying tribute to your mom in a major way. Tell us what's getting ready to happen.
Well, we're doing a play called Colliers' Momma. That's my mama. That ain't my mama. That's the cover right there.
All right.
I usually have one of the programs nearby that have my mama picture on it. I wasn't thinking I would have had that thing right here. Y'all count to 6. I'm gonna grab that picture. Hold up. Oh, don't go nowhere. I just have. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, I'm coming. I'm on my way. I'm not really coming. I'm just breathing hard. But listen, that's my mama right there. That's Mary Lena Smith. And we're doing a one-man play called Colliers' Momma. And if you like your mama, you're going to love the play. The play actually chronicles what I've done. Me growing up as a kid, you know, it's a 2-hour play. I do 55 minutes with a 15-minute intermission, and then 45 minutes. I play 17 characters. So I play me and all my brothers, and my mama, and my dad, and my uncles and cousins, and crackheads, and the winos, and the people who were the bartender. I play the whole show, and it goes through me growing up in the projects, coming to California, making money, and, you know, learning my craft, being on Venice Beach, and then, you know, after you make money, you know what happens next. Then the dope comes. You know, in fact, Robin Williams said it best. He said, cocaine is God's way of saying you're making too much damn money. You know, so then the drugs came, and I went through that whole thing. And in the play, you see me go through my addiction, the ups and the downs, the different relationships that I've been in to where I am now, and to where I figured out is that everything's about family and God. Once you get family and God down, everything else takes care of itself. A lot of times we make the mistake of thinking success is linear, but usually it's zigs and zags. There's ups and downs to it. But you can get through all that if you keep God first. Everything's about family and God, you know. And a lot of people say, well, the universe is blessing me, or the universe is cursing me. The universe doesn't do either one. The universe responds to your vibration. So whatever you send into the universe sends back to you. And you learn things by living them, by growing. I'm not mad at all about my addiction. My addiction brought me to where I am right now. And I love Micahel. I love who I look at when I look in the mirror. But that's because of my mother and God. They were the ones who stood there the whole time, no matter what, and reminded me that everything is okay and it's going to be okay. You know, they helped me celebrate the ups, and they held on to me when there was downs, you know. So, yeah. So that's my play. I'm going to do 100 cities. I've already done 8. Okay. First week in December, I'm doing a theater in Jersey. There's a lady working on bringing it to 5 theaters in England, but I'm going to do 100 cities of it. And when you come, the play will blow you away because it's so inspiring. It's about addiction, and it's about recovery. It's about family. It's about love. It's about humor, and it's about drama, because that's what life is. There's a balance to all of it. There's a yin and a yang. You're going to laugh some. You're going to cry some. In fact, somebody once said, life is like an onion. You peel it a layer at a time, and sometimes you cry, you know. Yeah.
So when you go on these tours, will people get a chance to meet you personally once you're through performing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love it when people come back to the green room and talk to me. People show up and bring me gifts. I like gifts. And each city is someone who's moved by it. Mothers love my play because it's about our mother and the power of our mother and the love she gives us, because our mother loved us before we loved our damn self. She believed us before we even came out of her womb, and she's been there the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So Mothers come to me after the play and they say, baby, if you ever need a home-cooked meal, you just call Mama, you know. So it's healing to me. It's liberating. I'm unfolding into my greater self every day, finding out more and more about who I am and what my mission is here on the planet. And hopefully it's a mission of giving to others, of healing others, of reminding others that it's okay. It's all right. God created you, not out of a bunch of junk. Let me see what I can make these Negroes out of. No, he created us with designer genes, man. He made us the very best of the best. Right. And you gonna love yourself. God ain't mad at you. You ain't never did nothing wrong. He ain't upset with you. Love you. You're already perfect, man.
And hopefully if you come to Houston, you can stop by the men's treatment center where I work and say a few words to the men who are in our residential treatment program if you're in the city. That's
great. I salute the men's treatment center in Houston, man. I would love to. I love Houston. I haven't worked in Houston in so long. I would love to come by and speak to the folks. And also, your Houston crowd, try to find me a place to come work down there.
All right.
Come down to comedy. You know I'm going to slide on in there and see y'all, man. They got an improv. I ain't worked there in about 15 years. And I kill when I work there. So, you know.
Well, let's kind of bring it together. I got just a couple more kind of loose questions for you. Can you know your top people that you can impersonate the best?
None. I don't do no impersonations.
Okay.
I don't know how to do them.
So,
I Paul Mooney. Oh, nigga, please. Nigga, I love the word nigga. Nigga makes my teeth white. Nigga. He called me one day. He said, Michael, are you having nigga night? Because I used to do comedy every Monday night, black comedy. Are you having nigga night? I said, yeah, we doing black comedy night. Well, nigga, I'm bringing Eddie Murphy, so you'll owe me twice. Yeah, that's the only impersonation I'm close to, and I'm not sure I'm hitting that on the head. You know?
So Michael Collier is going on a all-time tour with the top 3 comedians. It's a 4-man tour. You and 3 other people, alive, deceased, that you bringing on the squad, and you can only pick 3. Who's coming with you?
You talking about living?
Living or deceased?
Oh, well, that's easy. Richard Bernie Mac, and Patrice O'Neal. All 3 are dead. All 3 are beyond brilliant. Beyond brilliant. Yeah.
What about living? 3 comedians who are still alive. Who are you putting on your squad?
Man, I love Cat Williams. I mean, as an artist, he's a genius. I love Robert. I love Tony Roberts. There's so many great comedians. Excuse me? Oh, of course, Dave Chappelle, if he would come, and Dave Chappelle.
There you go.
See, that was my, yeah, that's Kelly. My angel heard I needed that answer, and she just sprinkled that down. Yeah.
Last question, Michael. Top 2 jokes that will set the improv off every single time that you tell.
Well, they're not that clean. Oh, now they're not that clean.
Let's try a clean one first, and then we'll shift.
Okay, the clean one. Oh, this is clean enough. The pharmacy joke. A lady goes into the pharmacy. She says, "Hi, Miss Pharmacist. I'd like some arsenic, please." Pharmacist said, "Lady, what you gonna do with that arsenic?" She's like, "Oh, I just want to poison my husband." He said, "Lady, I can't give you no arsenic to poison your husband." So the lady reaches in her pocket, pulls out a pitcher, sets it on the counter. Pharmacist picked it up and looked at it. It was a picture of his wife making love to her husband. He said, "Oh, damn, you didn't tell me you had a prescription." And then I could do the ice cream joke, but it's an F-bomb in that.
What's the ice cream joke? Here we go.
Okay. Every day, this lady went to the ice cream one day, and she said, "Pardon me, sir, but I'd like 1 gallon of chocolate ice cream, please." The man said, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. We don't have any chocolate ice cream." She said, "Okay, fine. Okay, in that case, I'll just take a 1/2 gallon of chocolate ice cream, please." He said, wait a minute. Maybe you didn't understand me. Didn't I just say we don't have any chocolate ice cream? Okay, fine. all right, in that case, I'll just take 1 scoop of chocolate. He said, wait a minute, miss. Now, can you spell the van in vanilla? She said, sure, V-A-N. He said, well, can you spell the straw in strawberry? She said, sure, S-T-R-A-W. He said, well, can you spell the fuck in chocolate? She said, but there ain't no fucking chocolate. He said, that's what I've been trying to tell your ass. There ain't no fucking chocolate.
All right, everybody. This is Brandon Holt with RecoveryToday.com. We had an awesome interview with my main man, Micahel Collier, all the way from California, known as one of the funniest men alive. If you're in California, check him out. Go to his website. Watch for the tour that's coming up soon. You can
make sure they follow me on Instagram. Gotta follow my Instagram, off the chain, just my name, Micahel Collier on Instagram. Go ahead.
Micahel Collier on Instagram. Make sure when he's in your city, get tickets, come introduce yourself to him, that you got a chance to hear him on his show.
Bring me my money.
Micahel, we love you, man, and we appreciate you, and best wishes to you. Thank you for coming on the show, and we'll be watching out for you.
Thank you, Brother Holt. I am honored to be here. God bless you.
All right. Great job. Great job, Micahel.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I think that was even better than the first one.
Way better. Way better. Okay, let me make sure I do this right here.
I hope you save it. Let you get a couple more dollars.
So we're going to hit stop recording. Stop recording.